What is going on, everybody? Let me turn this music down. Let me know if the music volume is good. Like always. I have not set anything up since last time, so I definitely got to do that. But we're getting everything set up as we go. Do you like the little graphic I have now? Literally just threw some text inside of Blender and made it rotate. Let me set up my chat. Whoa. Eventually what I want to do is I want to get my chat on the screen. So let me know if you guys know any like good plugins to do that, because it'd be cool to have that. Super sick. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today, we are going to be doing some fun stuff. So I have this shot right here, again off of Pixels. I am debating on getting an actual camera so I can do, I feel like a lot of my stuff really is hurt because I can't get it cinematic because I'm using clips online. I just don't have a good camera yet, and so that might be coming in the future as I kind of test some stuff, because I do want to get more cinematic feeling, but the idea is that up here, this is going to be a super simple shot today. I don't even know if I'm going to do any camera tracking, honestly. I think today we'll probably just do compositing cheat of some tracking and stuff. I think that's the goal. But yeah, I want to replace basically this whole sky up here, maybe add some stuff down here. I don't know yet, but mostly just focusing up here. I think that'd be a pretty cool shot. Excited to see today's tutorial. Oh gosh, this is not a tutorial. I haven't done this shot yet, so hopefully it all goes well. But yeah, how are you? How is everybody doing? Let's go ahead. I'm dealing with like storage issues recently. I just did a freelance project that destroyed my freaking storage system. Not actually, but like it was like 500 gigs I wasn't expecting all at once, and so yeah, that kind of, you know, made things tough. So I had to reorganize everything. Everything's kind of in spots I'm not used to, and so we are going to try to let that not affect us today, but if I struggle, it's because of that. Okay, let's put this footage up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, it's in 25 FPS, which is kind of annoying. I don't know why people shooting that, honestly. Is it 4K? Let's see. It is. What is that? 1440p, but I don't know if I've ever seen that ratio before. I don't even know what that is. That's a weird resolution. Oh well. Let's go ahead and convert some stuff. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing amazing. I finally finished most of my freelance stuff, and so I can finally just relax and chill out. I've been basically working for like 3 weeks straight, I feel like, and so that's gonna be a problem. Let's see, I'm gonna have to, where is it? This is what I'm talking about when I didn't have stuff organized. Save this in Nuke. Okay, so this will be interesting. I might do EXR. We'll see. Dang, this is gonna be so confusing. We'll go here, video. Here, I'll go ahead and save this inside Nuke so I'm not like fumbling around with that every time. Make a tutorial about object tracking. So you guys can use the GeoTracker add-on for it. That's really the only method I know inside of Blender. I'm sure there are some other object tracking tutorials using other software, but really I don't deal with object tracking too much, so I don't really have a great kind of professional standard for that. what software are you using? This is Nuke. So I use Nuke as my main compositing tool, and so it's super nice. Okay, so the idea, let me see if I switch this to Aces. I'm trying to develop a Aces workflow. So Rec 709, let's see. This is going to be very bad. Everybody's probably going to cringe. I still have not like mastered what is this? I still have not mastered color spaces or anything like that. So let me know if I'm doing anything super wrong and that looks wrong. Let's see. I think that looks right. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. And then I want to write this out. Let's see. What do I want to write this out as? What would be the smartest way to do this inside of Blender? Have you ever done any heavy facial swapping, like total face facial features like blood score? So I have not full facial swapping, but if you need to put any makeup or disable makeup, there's actually, I can show you real quick. What is it called? Dang. Shoot. I totally forget the thing inside of Nuke. I have not done it in so long. Oh shoot, there's something inside of Nuke that you can basically use, render out a certain pass and then use that pass to do something with it. I don't know. I completely forget. Let's render this as EXR. Stream 3 BG EXR. There we go. Okay, let's do DWAA because I don't really care about total accuracy. Okay, so we're gonna be in scene linear. Should I be scene linear or should I be in Aces CG? What do you guys think? This is mostly my learning. I'm learning with you guys, using my comments as a hey Jacob, don't be stupid and do it this way. So scene linear or Aces CG? I think Aces CG because Blender has an Aces CG workflow, question mark. Right guys, please. Maybe a little bit Minecraft realistic stuff, RTX in the future. Maybe. So I actually did some stuff in the past with Minecraft, kind of realistic stuff. And so you can check out those videos. I think a couple tutorials, I can't really remember. I might get back into it just for the fun of it and because it's popular right now. Who knows? I haven't opened Minecraft in a long while. You guys can't see it down here, but right here is my Minecraft launcher. So maybe in the future do some like Minecraft streams. Use Fusion, no more Blender. I am using Blender. Don't worry, guys. Blender is on its way. I'm just gonna stick here. We'll just test it scene linear right now. Also, it's 25 FPS, which is so annoying. I don't like that at all. And then this weird resolution I've never seen before. Yeah, so. Aces. Holy cow. We are not doing that many frames. Let's see. Let's just do a solid. I might just do a solid like 200 frames. Or wait, yeah, that'll divide nicely. I kind of do want to pick a point when these guys are kind of more in line. So they're more the focus of the shot. Sure. Render global. There we go. All right, we're gonna test to see if scene linear is the one I want to be in. But yeah, okay. So we're gonna do some fun stuff today. I'm excited because these past streams have been a little laxed on the 3D front. It's been more of a just kind of an everything stream, but this one I plan to do some sick 3D stuff in the background. Is Nuke free? So Nuke is non-commercial is free, but of course you can't use it for commercial projects. I have Nuke X and I pay for that because I do freelance visual effects. And the clients I have, you know, it's basically required to have Nuke if you're in the industry. And so, but if you want to test it, we'll just go over there real quick. If you want to test it, Nuke has a lot of like different versions. They have Nuke Indie as well, but it limits you to like 4K delivery. So you go to buy. Hopefully I done my yeah. So like Nuke X, here's the one I have. Of course, like that's crazy. But let's see. They have, where are the other ones? So they have non-commercial. So, and then they also have indie, and then they also have student. When I was a student, I actually did do the student thing, and it was great. Like honestly, it's a great tool, especially if you are interested in visual effects as a career. It's you know, very nice to have. Let's see. So why'd that take me there? Okay, Nuke non-commercial, it's free. It limits you to certain nodes and 1080p and stuff like that. Indie is basically the same way, but it bumps you up to 4K, and I believe most of the nodes are accepted. The biggest one, in my opinion, and why I can't do Indie is because it doesn't allow for certain plugins. There might be some workarounds and stuff, but in education, of course, you can look into it. If you're a student, your school might provide you like free Nuke licenses or something like that. Okay, let's get this out of here. New general. Shoot. We're gonna go here. Plus a new YouTube. Okay, let's save this here. Stream. Why removing a Nuke? Maybe. I mean, honestly, this is mostly a Blender and CGI channel. But maybe. Who knows? Love from India, welcome. I'm doing a course on VFX from university. Sweet. Visual effects is great. I love it. Thank you. Student is great for learning. University provide the Nuke, I forgot Nuke alternative software name. The Nuke quote unquote alternative name is Natron. I have not actually tested it yet. Maybe I'll make a video here soon being like, you know, something YouTube-y, like Nuke artist tries Natron for the first time or something. I'm sure there's already a video about that anyway. Okay, let's get our scene set up. One thing I do have to do, let's go to the first frame and let's do another right, but do a quick PNG still real quick. And we're just doing this because we're going to be using F-Spy for this project. You have done my course from Skillshare. Sick. Hopefully it went okay and you're not pulling your hair out and you still like visual effects. I learned a lot of CGI from my channel. Thank you. I do have some behind the scenes stuff going on right now that I'm hoping to start releasing here soon. Of some like future plans for the channel, because now that I have more time to actually sit down and do YouTube, I want to make it better. You know, I want to make myself more professional, you know, feeling and also like just content wise. So we shall see. Let's do the x-axis over here. Now I'm just gonna assume that there is these are straight lines in the real world. Hopefully they are, and they're perpendicular to each other. I don't think it's going to matter too much. But I think that should be good. Let's see now. What's like another good line? Because I want to get the floor right here. We have this one right here, and that's a pretty good one. Can we get the stairs over here, do you think? Will that throw things off? I don't want to save that yet. What am I doing? Let's do the grid floor and see. Okay, that's pretty good. I think it matches the stairs pretty well. Let's see. Can I zoom in here? It doesn't show the grid. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna save that for now. Let's put it on the very edge of this so we can model out this wall. We can always come back and change this before I get too far into it. Sweet. Can you pin courses link in the comments? I didn't see one in the channel info. So if you go to any of my YouTube videos, you can actually see a section in any of the descriptions of all the courses and stuff. And so that'll show you 3 of the courses, one which is advertising, one which is like beginner to pro, kind of a basic level course, and then there's one course that my most recent course is meant to be a full visual effects shot breakdown, like literally 4 hours of just one shot, versus the other courses are more designed for just like, you know, getting every scenario I could think of out. Do you rate visual effects videos? What do you mean by that? Are you saying should I do like a thing where you guys send me your videos and I like break it down of like what I recommend changing or like just reaction to it? I don't know, maybe that could be fun, but then again, I'm not a uber expert and so I don't want to give bad information. I'm gonna buy your Blender course on Udemy. Sweet. Yeah, now I welcome any new student. Why is Nuke better than After Effects? It really just is. You know, when you're dealing with all these high level stuff, it's so much better than After Effects just because it's node based. I know a lot of people don't really like node based, but for me, nodes are just so important in the visual effects process, to why we really like using them. So that's my basic explanation. My other explanation is everybody uses it in the industry, and so if you are industry focused, it's kind of a must. And honestly, I will say it's one of my favorite programs ever, and so there is valid reason to switch to it. I will say if you're doing like motion graphics or anything like that, After Effects is probably the better option there. Bang. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's import this in. See if let's just do a quick model. I want to see if everything is looking good. It's always important to model this out. Somebody had told me there's another kind of, instead of using SPy, there's another plugin, and I looked up that plugin. I can't remember the name of it, so if you guys know the name of it, let me know. But it was paid and didn't look like it offered too much more than I think what FSpy would offer. You know, in terms of my workflow and stuff like that, like, I don't know. Nuke node base. How much should I ask for my visual effects work? That really comes down to your skill level and also who you're working for. When I was starting, I totally did not pitch accurate amounts, meaning I pitched way too low. And so then I learned from it. And so that's what I would recommend doing, is just, you know, don't fear undercharging, you know, yourself, just because it's bound to happen. Honestly, you know, everybody, unless you've been in the industry for a little bit, you just don't know how much to kind of charge people. And so really it's just trial and error. And, you know, be informed, right? Like, don't just be like just spit a number out there, right? Do a little bit of research, maybe use like I use ChatGPT sometimes to like ask questions, stuff like that. There's really no one be all answer and stuff. Like, my rate is so much different than a rate of somebody else who's beginning, and also my own rate is different based on what client I have, right? And so it really comes down to who you're working for and all that stuff. So, ooh, why is that ugly? Oh no, it's not. Okay. Is this doing okay? Oh, I guess I need the actual footage in here. Or do I? Because we only did, I'm not camera tracking today. Your criticism about, and maybe, you know, that's not a terrible idea. Again, I very much worry about that just because I'm worried that I would give false information, and then also that, you know, I'm not a advanced senior level artist, right? I don't come from major Hollywood studios or anything like that, right? So part of me is like, my opinion shouldn't matter too much. I don't know. I just get very wary just because that is something that could harm an artist, and I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Maybe in the future. Oh gosh, this side is like all out of whack. What if I do this? Scale X0, and then I'll come over here. There we go. But yeah, just reactions. That would be interesting here. It's called Perspective. Yeah. Perspective Plotter. It's on Blender Market. You know, I can't say anything about how great it is. I'm sure it's pretty decent. Because basically what it is it's like FSpy. So it's like the FSpy program, but you can do it live inside of Blender, I believe. But if I'm being honest, in my own workflow, I don't really see that much of a benefit personally. Definitely check it out to see if it would benefit your own processes and stuff like that. But for me, I'm doing this process right now and making sure like literally everything lines up. I guess it'd be more important for camera tracking and stuff like that. But like, as you can see, this lines up perfectly. I am confident moving forward, you know? So maybe that's just quirky about me. Just doesn't want to carry the responsibility. Exactly. You know, I feel like there's a double-edged sword of having an audience, you know, that might be on the more beginner side of I can inspire my audience, but also I can lead them down a incorrect path. And so honestly, my channel at the moment isn't focused on, you know, that. It's more of like the developmental technical side. And so who knows if I get more into the creative side in the future, I might, who knows. Okay, let's have some fun now. I want to go ahead and set up the lighting of our scene. Let's go to rendered view. I'm gonna use an add-on you've probably seen me use before, Physical Atmosphere. It's a great add-on. Highly recommend. It just allows lighting to be so much easier. Which is best camera tracking software in your opinion? I currently use what is it? Synthesize. I use Synthesize, and in previous streams I've actually used it on the stream. We won't be using it in this video, unfortunately, but there are kind of two main contenders in my opinion of the experience I've had. I think PF Track is the kind of industry standard software there. Synthesize is also really good. Highly recommend. I'm pretty sure those are the main two programs everybody talks about. I currently use Synthesize. I actually am I was sponsored by them in the past and have an affiliate link, and so if you go to any of my YouTube videos and go in the description, you can actually find an affiliate link that should give you a little bit of a discount if you are interested. Synthesize is great though. It's fantastic. I've never had any issues with it at all. It's been, you know, basically, if you can't track it in Synthesize, you can't track it, period. And so that's kind of the rule I've lived by for a little bit. Is there any difference between Blender visual effects course on Udemy versus Gumroad? So there is not. Gumroad is just kind of my own venue, and then Udemy. The unique thing about Udemy is wherever you're like located, it'll price it differently, and so that's out of my control. That's what like Udemy does, but the actual course and everything is the exact same. Blender is better than Synthai is sure. Whatever you say. I used to be a hardcore Blender camera tracker, and then I was shown the way, and I can never go back. And so take with that what you will. Okay. There's not really great points of reference, are there? Yeah, not really. What I might do I have any tree assets in my library? Ooh, what happened in my assets folder? Uh-oh. What's going on? Where would that be again? Is that in system? File paths, there we go. Oh, because I moved them. Great. Okay, do I have Blender kit installed? I do, okay. Just do a quick tree model. I'm not gonna use it. Sure, why not? That's a massive tree. Oh, I do gotta set up my scale. This that was actually a good catch. Be an amateur right now. I want some criticism from another visual effects artist because in my office there is no other experienced artist and the art director can say only minor visual things, so no growth. Whoops, gotta turn that off. Yeah, no, I mean, if you guys, you know, I'd have to set it up something like in the beginning of the video being like, hey, just so you know, I'm not a seasoned vet in the industry. These are purely my opinions, and so take it as it is. Maybe I'll do something like that. Did you learn visual effects in 3D by yourself or did a school? So basically I learned visual effects mostly self-taught. And then after the fact, I did go to film school, right? And so that was a big part of my growth. Here, give me 1 second. Let me figure out how to do this. Need to scale everything without losing. Yes, I did go to film school. I will say I didn't do too many visual effects classes there. That's how I was introduced to Nuke, because we had Nuke for free through the school. And so that's how I was able to learn that side of things. But Blender, everything like that, I'm self-taught. No courses either. I did everything from YouTube videos and literally just doing my own visual effect shots. Okay, right now I'm basically just scaling the scene so I can get the height right. So these guys that guy seems pretty average height. So this cube is basically 2 meters tall. And so I gotta scale it to be like a pretty tall person. Somewhere around there. That's good enough. And then what I can do with my tree, my lovely Blender kit tree, is put this back here. And scale it down a little bit. Trying to look for a tree that has some good shadowing. We'll try this one right over here. Okay. Literally, I'm just using this for light direction, like nothing else. And that's only because there is like nothing in this scene to give light direction other than the trees. Okay, here, let's move it to its side. Okay, so it's kind of like more, let's go to the top view here. Yeah, it's more like this, kind of side lit right? Or whoops, like that. So that's looking better. This tree is off, not awful, because it is for free, but a lot of duplication I could see. Okay, that's looking like it matches. Is the mess around with the angle though? If I double tap X, this is why this lighting thing is great, because you can play around with a lot of this stuff. Okay, that looks decent to me. That's probably where I'm going to leave it. We'll play around with it in a little bit if it's weird. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and unparent those things. Right click, parent, clear and keep transform, and then the camera as well. Parent, keep transform. There we go, just so we can delete this. Sweet, let's go ahead and start putting in some assets. This is the fun part. This is where I'm kind of gonna have some fun with you guys, and kind of build the scene out together. Just so you guys, if you're new to the stream, what we're doing is we're basically just placing like either like a sci-fi city, like a dystopian city, something in the background, just replacing this all up here, and gonna have some fun with it. So start typing away of what you want to see. I don't really need the stairs over there, honestly, so I can kind of like be weird with it. Yeah, I don't need to model out those stairs. Okay, so I have this amazing asset library thing. Oh, I might have to update it though. So we're going to be using Cargo by Kitbash. Kitbash is great for this type of stuff, and we're going to have a ton of fun with it, but I might need to... Here, let me just update that real quick. I'll pull it off screen in case there's any sensitive information you see. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Cargo. Okay. In theory, it should be working. Here, let's test something real quick. Let's go to a model I already have downloaded. And a small one. This plane. Not a ton of buildings. 4.1, right? Yeah, 4.1. I probably need to update Blender too. I haven't updated Blender in a while. How much did you invest in your workstation setup from the start? Okay, so story time. I started my visual effects career with a laptop, a gaming laptop. It was a 2060, had like 16 gigs of RAM, 6-core CPU, and that honestly got me pretty decent. Recently, because I've been growing in terms of clients and stuff like that, I have upgraded my workstation. Oh, sick. It works just like that. Sweet. So we have that. And materials are all good. Look at that. Okay. For some reason, I thought I had to update that. But yeah, so recently, I would say my current system, if we're just talking PC, like all the important stuff, my current system, if I had paid... Okay, so here's the thing. Because I'm a YouTuber and also like have certain deals and stuff like that, I actually... worked with NVIDIA on one of their projects to promote their NVIDIA Omniverse, and so they actually sent me my graphics card, which is a 3090 Ti. If I would have bought that myself, it was like 1,500 or something like that. So total, if you were to buy my machine as is right now, would probably come close to like 2,500 to 3,000, maybe 2K. It might just be 2,000. I don't know. Which isn't bad, you know, for a investment in your work. That's not bad at all. If we're talking like whole station, including like what I use for YouTube, my mic, my headphones, my audio setup, all that stuff, we're probably looking closer total, including my PC, to around 4,000 to 5,000. But the important stuff you could, if you really wanted to build a banger visual effects computer, and you probably aren't going to be starting at the level to where you need to turn around stuff like instantly. Your rates are probably going to be a little lower because of that. If you're just starting out visual effects and stuff, I'd probably recommend sticking around either 1,000 or 1,500. Now we are very close to a new GPU release with the 50 series, and so right now, if you were looking, I would maybe hold off just a little bit, just because there is some stuff on the horizon. But yeah, that's basically how much I've paid for all my stuff. In terms of fee, honestly, the more expensive thing for me is all the software side of things. Like Nuke, I mean, you saw earlier, Nuke is a freaking crazy like per year subscription thing, and so that's what you really have to consider is like. What really stepped myself up in a visual effects like freelance sense is actually purchasing assets like this asset library, purchasing software, all that stuff to make my stuff better. Really, the hardware is kind of a set in stone thing, right? Like there's if you really kind of look at the paper specs of all hardware, that stuff can only get you so far. It's really the artist that, you know, makes this is super cringy, but it's the artist that really makes the work stand out. And so I would heavily invest in learning materials, courses, stuff like that, but also more importantly, in my opinion, software. Blender is a great tool, but you know, you don't want to limit yourself just to Blender, I feel. And so that's why I use Synthesize. That's why I use Nuke to composite. That's why I use After Effects for rotoscoping, stuff like that. And so that's kind of how I think of things like that, of just kind of, you know, getting you started in the industry. It's very easy to kind of invest in the wrong set of stuff, right? Like I wouldn't go with a banger setup out of the gate, like 4090, all that stuff or whatever. I'd really hold off, if I'm being honest with you, just because technology is growing so much now. AI is kind of making everything crazy, but also you want to have money to spend where it matters. And so if you buy a 4090 now, in like a year or two, once you're actually at that level to get better clients and start getting more clients and stuff like that, you could have used that money you spent on the 4090 to better invest that into other parts of your kind of service. And for you as an artist, your art doesn't benefit from having a 4090, right? The thing that benefits your art is, you know, all the tools and stuff that you can have, all the software side of things, and really the hardware, it makes it faster, right? And so that's why people pay me my rates and stuff for freelance, is because I can churn out this stuff so much faster than I used to, right? And that's purely because of my setup. And so that's kind of how I think of things after I come from that background of like, what do I invest in and stuff. And it's also like up to the individual, right? And so what I say might be great for me, but you know, for another individual in their stage of their artistry and stuff like that, it might be more important to invest in the thing. If you feel confident enough that the hardware is what's holding you back from a creative standpoint, I say go for it. You know, it really comes down to kind of what you're looking for. And so let's turn off the floor and grid lines. Okay, this is where I have to figure out how to do the color space. Let's go to here, because I want to render as an aces. So let me think. This is one area I'm still not very good at all. So I think what we can do, color management. There's somewhere you can like set up. Oh, I think I have to change this to. Here, we'll go ahead and save this to. I think it's very funky. If you come over to, let's go to CG and just make a version 1 folder. Okay, EXR, DWA, there we go. Okay, color management, we're gonna override and go with ACES CG, I think. I just don't know how to, there we go. This is CG. And then I think I have to come in here. This is in linear. I think it's just in standard linear. Yeah, because I think I did scene linear inside of Nuke. I want some Chris. But yeah, how much time did it took you to get all that money back through work? Like, okay, so what I would say, this is a question about return on investment, and you know, how much money am I making? So I'm not going to give you exact estimates. I'm never going to reveal, just so you guys know in the future, if I do any Q&As or AMAs or anything like that, I'm never going to reveal like what I actually make or anything like that, just because that's personal business related stuff. Like YouTube is like my physical entity. And then I have a separate like company entity I go through all my visual effects, you know, personal LLC and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be going over all of that stuff. However, what I will say is computers are one of the fastest return on investments I've ever had, purely just from a money making standpoint. Literally, I was able to take on like three times as many clients just because I knew my computer could handle it. And I could do it at the same time, right? And so my return on investment on my computer, I think, was literally like one project, and that project was like maybe a 3 or 4 day thing. I recently just had to do all the bookkeeping software like QuickBooks and stuff like that, and the return on investment is very, very fast if you're smart about it, right? If you're just beginning, that return on investment isn't going to be as fast. And also I was already out there, right? Like I have this YouTube channel, I had the Instagram to fall back to. And so that was kind of my way to get that return on investment a little bit faster, if that makes sense. So don't take my experience as literal, just because if you're starting, it's going to be a long time until you get started, you know, getting clients back to back and stuff like that. I was in that exact same boat when I was starting. Nobody was willing to kind of risk it on a no, you know, I didn't have any things to my names and stuff. So it took a little bit to get that started. But now their return on investment is so worth it, in my opinion. And so that's why I go back to, maybe don't spend all of the friggin' money in the world on your machine. Make sure to get a nice machine, but get something that's practical for you, because there are so many other areas you should be investing money into, in my opinion, than your machine. Like we talked about before, software, but also like advertising yourself. Spend some of your time, right? Because time is money, on advertising yourself, of like making personal projects, stuff like that. That is what led to a lot of my success, I would say, more so than kind of the hardware value of things. Okay, let's have some more fun, guys. I would like equipment to be cheaper in my country. We all would like equipment to be free. I second that. I kind of like this plane crash. I used it in another shot, but we're going to use it again. But yeah, it's always a journey, guys. Like, it took me a while to get to a comfortable spot, and so I think you just got to know that and plan for it, and like just think about where to put your money, right? Like I see too many beginner artists go all out, get like a 4K, you know, 4K monitors, get super high color accuracy, you know, ball out on their computer, and all of a sudden they're like $10,000 in debt. And that $10,000 as a beginner, when you don't have any clients coming in, that's like crushing. Like you're not getting out of that hole, right? And so like, don't do that to yourselves. I've seen too many artists fall down that trap. It's okay to not have the best setup in the world, unless you're getting clients. Like as soon as you start getting like good clients and stuff like that, that's where you can kind of like start to open yourself up, I feel. Maybe make those investments into your own company. Welcome, Red Tiger. How you doing? Freelancers or working as employee? What do you think is better in general? Honestly, I have not had employee like working conditions before, so I can't really speak too much to that. I've always been a freelancer. The reason I like freelance so much is because I'm my own boss and I can kind of negotiate based on myself, right? I can also take time off and all that stuff. For me personally, I would have been making less money if I did the employee route than I would have in freelance. And so take that what you will. Again, I'm not a beginner, and so beginner freelance might be a different story than like once you kind of start having some returning clients and stuff like that. But just the quality of life features for me are so much more worth it than the employee side of things. The unfortunate thing is, A, you have to do your own taxes and stuff like that. The company doesn't do that for you. And then B, you have to pay for your own benefits, right? And so that includes like healthcare, all that type of stuff. But for me, the lifestyle benefits are so much outweigh those to where I would pay extra, right, to have those benefits. So here we go. Point about that. Jacob, I have a question. How do people make these visual effects, like when the camera is moving from position or a whole nother position, like a whole different view? So keyframes will stop track. So I'm guessing you're talking about like if you have two shots, right, and you need both of those shots to have the same CGI and stuff, you would camera track it per shot. And so it wouldn't be something to where like you're how do you say it? Like you're camera tracking and then expecting those tracking dots to carry over to another shot if there's like a cut or anything like that. I mean trackers. So like if it's like 3D rotating around the scene, that's really due to your camera tracking settings. Camera trackers usually track location, scale, and rotation. But if I'm being really serious about things, Blender is not a great kind of camera tracking tool. It's fine for a vast majority of what people need it. But like for me personally, when I switched to a program like Synthesize, it was night and day, like the quality of my camera tracking, not even just the look or anything, literally just the quality. I really like this hydrogen plant. That's kind of cool. Ooh, and this I kind of like want like a nuclear kind of wasteland vibe. It's kind of cool. Let's import that in. Also, I can close out a Nuke now. Yeah, the biggest thing I can say for you guys who are like looking to get into freelance visual effects and stuff like that is start posting your work online. Like I just find this is kind of a conversation I've been having with some of my peers that are, you know, wanting to further their career, and like the value you can put on yourself for like doing free advertising of yourself is just not talked about too much, right? And so like I mean like post stuff on Instagram, like post stuff on LinkedIn, YouTube, anything like that. Literally just get a ton of eyes on your stuff, and like you'll find that you can start growing so much faster. Did I scale this plane, by the way? Did I accidentally scale that? I can't remember. Also, is this thing just like massive, or is that just me? Okay, it's not massive. What do you guys think? Should this be on the other side? I kind of like that because I want my let's see, can I turn on the let me turn on the roll thirds, because I want my focal point to kind of be up here. like right here in this third, because that's kind of out of the way, which is what I wanted. And then I might move this wall over a tiny bit just so that sign can be on the roll third. Let's see. Let's see. I might. Oh, is that a texture or is that a 3D object? Oh, it's a texture. Interesting. That's a pretty good texture. Is the shadow texture too? Or how is the shadow being cast so nice like that? Wait a second. Is that a displacement or like a normal map or what is that? That's so weird. Kind of cool though. It's literally like, is it displacement? I can't tell. This is crazy. I mean, it has to be, right? It's a texture, so. Wow. That's one thing I never really paid much like time into was textures. I know it's very important. Okay, what do I want to be like the center, the focus point of my shot? I love this, so we're definitely downloading this. Give me ideas, guys. Go. How about Facebook? You know, Facebook is fine. I say my philosophy is why not, right? Like if that's another avenue for people to find you, go for it. Like literally it takes 2 seconds to post that stuff. Do it. I will say Instagram right now is the hotbed of stuff. Like literally, if there's one thing you want to target, it's Instagram, in my opinion. And this is not only to have your work seen, right, and have like clients see you, but it's also to like build credibility, right? Because people are going to comment and be like, hey Jacob, like this sucks, or like, hey, this is great, and stuff like that. And so that's how you can start to kind of like become a better artist too, right? It's like you're gonna have people be mean to you and give harsh criticism and stuff like that, but don't take it personally and literally just, you know, use that as a free source of people looking at your work, right? Like we had somebody earlier say, how do I get more eyes on my work? And like online is the perfect place to do that, you know, and you don't have to post your voice, your face, anything like that. Now what I do highly recommend and what I see a lot of like beginners kind of struggle with is the idea of how to self-market yourself, right? Because when you're beginning, you're going to be going most likely by your name. And I highly recommend you do, because if you go by a company name, at the start, what's going to happen is it's going to scare all of the kind of indie level people that would probably hire you in the first place. And also, if you don't have anything to your name from a client standpoint of like actually work, then you're also going to struggle with the bigger companies that are going to try to look for studios and stuff like that, or not studios, but like actually branded places and stuff. And so it just kind of, it's not good to start out like that. It's better, in my opinion, to start out with just your name and then kind of build to that. And then perfect example, right? I've always gone by Jacob Zirkle. And then now that I'm finally getting to a point to where I feel comfortable of targeting more of a higher kind of clientele, that's why I made us a company and stuff like that. And now I'm going by the company name and stuff like that. And so that's kind of the philosophy there. Again, this is what has worked for me. It's not the end-all be-all solution, but it has really helped. Okay, I kind of like the little like swoop we have going on here. I don't know if that's a technical term, but I kind of like that we're having like the eye drawn here. What I want to have is like some type of building or something here. I think that would be cool. Yeah, because we kind of have like this pizza line. You gotta always think about leading lines, and so people, when they first see this shot, right, I mean obviously they're going to be focused right over there, but the idea is like I want this kind of third is already taken care of. This one down here, this one I tried to move that little thing over, and I think it's close enough to where I don't mind it. I might move the plane over a little bit because it is covering up this third a little bit, so I might move that over probably. And then I want this to be the focal point. And I don't really care that there's nothing down here. I don't think that bugs me. So that's a plane. Yeah, let's move that plane. Why is this plane like, did I scale this plane? I think I might have scaled this plane accidentally. No, it's just, is it really that small? Okay, I think this plane is just not scaled correctly. Or maybe it is. I think it actually is. That's crazy. I mean, usually this stuff is scaled correctly, so I shouldn't be surprised, but it just kind of blows me away. Maybe these cooling towers are just massive and I didn't even know. Okay, so now it's kind of out of the way, so we can have that third. Do I have a Discord server? I do not currently. It is in the works, I will say. But we'll see how I'm going to run things. But it's definitely in the works. We'll see. Is there work for multi-layer files? And yeah, of course there is. I'm trying to remember what it's called inside of After Effects. But there is definitely a workflow. Yeah, I don't think After Effects is as good with linear color spaces as Nuke is. I might be wrong on that, but that's typically what I remember. Hello, Jacob Circle. Your lessons are very useful. God bless. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it and hope it's all going well. Bump. Yeah, that's what I was curious about. It looks like an insane bump, though. We're talking about this thing over here. It's got the shadows and everything. What do you think of Rebel Ways courses like are advertising like crazy on YouTube? So I can't comment exactly to it because I've never taken one of those courses. But I know what you're talking about. They look fun. I'm sure they are very professional. But yeah, I don't really have any comments. PC specs, I have a 3090 Ti, 20 core CPU. It's like a 14700K, and then 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. Yeah, some more triggers. How do you learn Blender for making environment? Look it up on YouTube. Like literally, that's how I kind of self-taught myself. Is literally just kind of look it up on YouTube. I will say environments are very asset based, and so you might have to spend a little bit of money on some decent asset packs. Like I did for this, but ooh, I love the Brutalist collection. Let's see. I actually used this pack for a client I did. It was like a dystopian sci-fi scene. I don't think I can share it though because it doesn't come out until this December. Gosh, that was a while ago too. I think I started working on that like maybe even before this year. Yeah, I use this building. Yeah, so that tells you about some of these projects are so annoying in the sense that like you're working on it like a year or so before it gets released. And so like I worked on that so long ago. I want that on my demo reels and all that, but I can't release it because it's not out yet. And you know, I'm not technically under NDA, but it'd just be kind of rude to do that. And so man, I wish I could show you guys that shot. Oh, sick. Current PC spec, I just said it. It's 3090 Ti, 20 core CPU, and 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. I think the CPU is a 14700K. I'm a junior compositor, mostly doing freelance, mainly After Effects, drone, real estate videos. Oh, that's sick. You have keep saying I learned Blender to improve it. Will it help? I definitely think so. I think I mean I'm very biased, right? I'm a Blender YouTube channel. But I really do think every artist should learn Blender, regardless of what, or every 3D artist, let's say. Just because like I've had so many people who are like Unreal people, right? And in their workflows, like say you quickly need to like set up something, like somebody sends you a file and they're like, hey, by the way, can you change just about it. Blender is so easy to literally just throw it in the program, do that simple thing fast, and it's, you know, it's free, so all that stuff. But I really do think so, especially with aerial photography, drone stuff. You can camera track, like camera tracking inside of Blender for that stuff is decent. Cleanup stuff might be okay inside of Blender if you're like doing like cleanup stuff, like cleaning up a building or something. But yeah, I mean, I would think so. Why is this? There we go. I was like, why is it not loading? Sometimes the bigger objects take a lot of resources to load in. That's the only thing I don't like about Cargo is it only allows you to import. It's an importer of their thing, so it doesn't allow you to download FBXs or anything like that. I actually did run into a problem and had because I hired some artists to work with me on this one film. And so I had Cargo already, and I was wanting to use, it was a Blender to Unreal workflow. And so my other artist I hired was an Unreal artist. And so what we ended up having to do is I had to basically pay her to get Cargo so that they could have Cargo on their end and use the same exact assets inside of Blender and Unreal. And the only reason we did that is just because, you know, some of the assets that we wanted were so much better and cheaper than if we were to buy a single asset. You know, one singular asset was like 200, 300, you know, $400 versus this whole program I think we got for like 300 or 400 on special. So that just tells you kind of the value of something like this. Now we are getting camera clipping because of course we are, because Blender doesn't know how to not have camera clipping. But there we go. What are you guys saying? We're gonna like rotate it like that or something? Should we be way further in the background? Also, I gotta turn clipping off of the view. I can't understand Unreal 5. It's so complicated. I agree. I keep telling myself I'm just gonna sit down and learn Unreal Engine 5. But it never comes. I always get overwhelmed, and really, I just gotta like sit down one day and like really go over it. Do I like that? Because I kind of want it to like read a little Dune-ish. I don't know. I'm just slapping things together at this point. Okay, what else? What else? What should I add, guys? Here, let's get let's do a random pack. I'm gonna close my eyes and do this one. The cyber day. Hey, that kind of goes in our theme. Not really. I don't know if I like this pack. Kind of too futuristic for me. Because I like this pack because it's like futuristic, but it could fit into like a vibe, like a very industrialistic vibe. I like future slums too, but their buildings are so small though. I need something grandiose. Let's see, Atlantis. That might not be the vibe. I think we just need like a couple more things. I also like the Soviet bloc collection. I think it's like very like brutalist, like architecture and stuff like that. I really like that building. Let's see. Let's get another kind of funky building in there. Kind of like the slanted buildings like this. Because I'm not trying to go for like a dune aesthetic. I know everybody tries to go for like a dune aesthetic, but I'm very much going for the dune aesthetic. Just because it's cool. I mean, like Dune, like the art direction of Dune is fantastic. I'm starting to learn Blender. What do you suggest me? I have started with basic introduction shortcuts. Actually, today is my first day. Oh, well, congrats and welcome to the world. So for starting out, what I would recommend is, let's see, that's a good question. I would definitely recommend doing a few tutorials. Like there's no way you can jump into it like really quick, you know? Like you're just going to have to do some tutorials, build up some of that stuff. Nobody kind of jumps into the program and automatically makes amazing work. After you do a couple tutorials of literally just recreating and following the steps that they do, I'd actually recommend just doing your own work, right? Like using tutorials only when you have to, I think is where I learned the most. And also like I got cool work out of it. Now your stuff isn't going to be that great if you're just starting out. I remember doing a challenge all the way back in the day, like 50 visual effects shots in 50 days. So basically every single day I had to post a new visual effects shot, and that really helped me kind of like jumpstart my thing. Some of those visual effects shots, even for back then, were super bad. And so don't be afraid to, you know, kind of just grind out and do some quote unquote bad visual effects. I don't think it's bad to fail, right? Like literally I'm a huge proponent of like failure as part of the process. And so and even now, like even now I have a ton of stuff to learn. So if I rotate this around, I kind of like it. So yeah, so literally just when you do your own work, right, you are learning the fastest as possible because you're actually applying skills instead of just blindly following along. But also you're taking an extra step in the problem solving process. You know, that if you're just following a tutorial, they already problem solve for you, you know, and so you're not getting too much out of it. Versus if you were to literally like sit down yourself and work on a project that you're passionate about, you know, something that you think is cool. Okay, I did not realize this building was so small. I guess the windows kind of gave it away, but let's see if I can like put it over here maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I was going to put it like right here, but well, here, let's see if I can. I'm not going to sheet it, but maybe try to fill it out like some like right there. That didn't look bad. Here, let's try to rotate it. Okay, is that wall blank? It's fine. Okay, we need one last thing kind of over here. Let's do something else. Any advice how to get clients nowadays? As you know, some the social and blow it up. How they mostly have no basics. So any advice to get recognized from the crowd? In my opinion, quantity over quality is so important when you're starting out. I know that's kind of an anti-art and creative saying, but hear me out. Basically, the more you post online, the more opportunity you'll have to be recognized, which is kind of a scummy kind of YouTuber practice of like literally posting anything out. But what you're doing is you're learning. So you're in the process of learning, right? And so repetition is so important because then you'll kind of remember some of this stuff more. But then you start gaining more of an audience and growing in your skills. More of those audience will give you more feedback at the start, which is so important. And then once you start growing, that's where you can kind of start to switch it from quantity to quality, right? So ultimately, quality is the goal, as everything should be. But I just find too many artists, like, instead of posting once in a month of your best shot you ever made in your entire life, I'd highly suggest you instead focus on posting, you know, maybe like 5 or 6 shots in a month or something like that, just something greater. Just because then again, you'll have more of a chance for somebody to see it instead of one opportunity for somebody to see it. And even then they might skip up on it, right? Like and then you would have wasted months doing something that might have got seen once. And so really quantity over quality, and then quality over quantity later on. Also just keep getting better. Like literally just, my early Instagram posts are awful, and now I kind of have a workflow of like what I do for Instagram to get noticed, trying to keep in mind like keeping people's attention, making stuff eye-catching, all that kind of stuff. And so you want to stand out from the crowd, yes, but you also want to start to build a base that you can build off of, and that only comes from repetition and a lot of stuff. If somebody likes your stuff and they go to your profile and they only see like 1 or 2 other things, they're like, oh, okay, this guy's, you know, starting out, I might not follow him, who cares? But if they like something and go to your profile and they see a lot more of that thing that they like, then they'll be like, oh, that's sick, you know, let me follow this guy and see what he does in the future, stuff like that. And so that's more of like just finding people to view your stuff versus like clients. You know, clients, once you start getting clients and noticed by clients and stuff like that, that's where like what am I trying to say, that's where you start like really bumping up the quality, right? Ooh, I really like that kind of dark area back here. That's kind of cool. Okay, I think that's pretty much it of what I'm going to do up here. And I'm not going to here. What am I going to do? I'll start separating out all this stuff. And this plane was just for reference. We can turn that off. Okay, I think we just might need to render out 1 frame just to test some stuff. Render animation. How many hours do I work in a day? So mostly when I'm contracting myself to like work on client and stuff, I work full 8-hour days because that's what they're paying me for. Now it's like lagging. There we go. Is it back? There we go. Sorry. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So if I'm working for clients and stuff like that, I work those full 8-hour days, because it's disingenuous to charge people for, you know, hours you're not working, right? I'm a big believer in, you know, freelance, break it down for them and all that stuff. But really, I work full 8 hours, and try to get it out as fast as possible. Now some days, if there's like a big render and stuff like that, usually I can't do render farms just because I use a ton of plugins in my kind of program to get out these renders. And so in specific days, I'll actually, yeah, let me stop this. We just needed 1 frame. I'll actually, like render, like I've had days where I've had a render for like 6 hours and stuff like that. So I'm really only working 2 man hours and stuff like that. So that's kind of a breakdown of that. Does that pre-model consume more render time? Does that pre-model? We trying to make currently? I just joined. So I'm just making sci-fi scene. You know, we're just having some fun stuff, and tough models do increase render time. The biggest thing to watch out for is texture sizes, but more importantly, face counts, and we're sitting right now at like basically 14 million, which is a pretty heavy scene, right? Like, so that would be very tough for, I think, a beginner artist with kind of a lower spec machine to run. So this would maybe be where I can kind of optimize it, but honestly, we just needed one frame anyway. So any settings for smooth preview? So if you're talking about just in Blender, what I kind of recommend is rendering out a proxy if you do run into like kind of slowing down of stuff. And so right here inside of Nuke, you can do this in any editing program. We have EXR footage, and so it's only 16-bit WAA or DWAA. So that helps a little bit. But sometimes this stuff does lag up, especially if you're rendering over 1080p. And so then what you can do is you can render out a, like instead of doing a EXR, you can do like a MOV file at the same frame rate. And that's purely just for reference, right? You're not going to use that in any kind of like process other than like using it for the background of a video or something like that. And then it kind of plays a little bit faster. That's the term proxy. If you hear that in visual effects, that's kind of what that means. So that's super easy for preview playback. If you're like literally in Blender and you have 14 million polygons, like you can maybe come down here and there might be a way. Oh, the biggest thing you can do inside of Blender, if you want to purely just preview stuff, you can go to viewport render animation, and you might want to change your output settings so it doesn't mess anything up there. But that way it'll actually render out the preview of the viewport. And as you can see, the viewport is actually decently fast. It's not moving because there's no animation, but it moves so much faster than rendering out. And so that's how you can kind of preview some things. What is going on, Biz Growth Pro? How you doing? Okay, let's start getting this thing in. Where did I save that? Did I say I think I saved that in CG. Yeah. Okay, sweet. So we have our EXR. Now I could do a multi-layer pass for all this stuff like reflection, you know, each individual object, even like a crypto mat and stuff like that. I'm not really going to bother about that, honestly, because I don't want to. It's probably not the industry way, but we are having some fun today, so. Okay, so this now needs to be, well, we need to use our EXR footage. Put that to the side. Okay, so we have this. This needs to be ACES CG, right? Which it didn't really change. Why is this lagging? Sorry if the stream. There we go. Okay. Big lag spike. I guess I found out the reason today why people have two machines, for one for streaming, recording the footage, and then the other one for working. It's whenever I do something super intensive like render 14 million polygons in the viewport that it does not like that. Surprisingly, who would have thought, right? Okay, so what do we gotta do? This is the part where I'm like, okay, so it's in ACES CG, and I did put that, right? Because the weird thing is like, I gotta see a CIO color space. And then do I gotta do it to Rec 709? I think that's the workflow. I think that looks pretty accurate. Question mark? Oh, and maybe I do want a Z depth pass. Might do that. Also, I don't know if that is it. We'll have to color correct, of course, but let's just go ahead and do a crappy levels match. Is that the yeah, that's a good spot. Okay, that's better. I think I do need a Z depth, so I might do this as a multi-layer render. So what I'm gonna do actually is set this back to temp, and so now that's rendering to nowhere. We'll go up to compositing, use nodes, and file output. We'll do node properties. Then we need to do EXR multi-layer, DWA, float half. Cool. So this one is RGBA because that's how Nuke likes it, and then this one is just going to be depth ? Then I need to enable Z. Do I need anything else? It should be fine. Oh, and I need to override to ACES CG. Image. There we go. Have you seen and tried in Compify add-on? I have not. I gotta double check what it does again because I saw like one video about it, but is that the Compify? Oh, it's like there we go. Sorry, whenever I render something, it's got to like go through loading all the textures, and since I have this many objects in the scene, it's crazy. Even on my killer setup, it still takes it a little bit to load all that in. Okay, so I guess that is how the shadows should look. And all the speckly bits. Why is it giving me all that kind of noise? It almost looks like there's like something over. No, that's the edge of the wall. Never mind. But we were talking about the Compify on. It looks cool. I can't remember exactly what it does. Oh, it's a delighting add-on. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. I gotta do some tests with it myself and stuff. Because my problem is I don't want to do any compositing inside of Blender. And so I gotta check to see that workflow to see if you could do like what I do inside of Nuke. Okay, did this auto update? Let's do layer context sheet. Okay, so now we're working with multi-layer files. You guys didn't think you'd get this little nugget. Gosh, why is that like crazy? Is it because I'm denoising it, do you think? I've never seen that. Do you guys think that is because I'm denoising the footage? I think there's a, we can probably fix it because I do want to denoise my footage. So I wonder, we'll shuffle that out. This is how you deal with multi-layer stuff in Nuke. Okay, so we have this now, and what I want to do. Oh, where'd it go? Is it still there? Oh, it went away. What the heck? Oh, it was okay. It was a pre-multiplication thing. That's okay. How weird. Okay, anyway, so we have this now. We can use this as like a mask for color correction. So what I want to do is, all this looking accurate? The colors look kind of off to me. I don't know about you guys. Come on, Blender, don't do this to me. Yeah, the colors are off. Oh, it's because I graded it, right? No, that's not it. Maybe oh, cause is Blender a freaking sRGB program? No, it's not that. I'm so bad at freaking color spaces. It's just one thing I've never really had to deal with in my professional workflow, just because I typically don't deal with like heavy color workflows, like needing to be industry standard, just because inside of advertising, which is mostly what I do, they don't care as long as it looks good. And again, everything I say right here is like totally what you should not do. Lighting CG objects is great. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'll definitely have to check it out one time. Yeah, so see, everything looks fine. It's just not perfect one-to-one out of Blender, which at this point, I guess we don't really need. We're gonna have to track this in too. I forgot about that. I didn't realize there were people back here. Try render properties, color mesh. Try render properties, color management. It's set to our sRGB. Should I change it to something else? Is that what you're saying? That may not be changed from sRGB for image. Yeah, so what I have right now is So the AGX view transform, I think that's what it is. Just because Blender's weird, I don't know. Because I have in this node, I have to override the color management to Ace's CG. So I'd hope that work, because Ace's CG is a linear thing. Yeah, because I have that up here in the input transform. Yeah, I don't know. I could spend all day doing this, figuring out. Also, it's a little bit too saturated for my taste. I'll do that after the fact because we have the levels match, maybe. I don't know the correct way. Are you supposed to do saturation stuff at a specific time in the workflow, or is that supposed to be in a specific place? That red is way too much. Let's hue. What is it? Correct? Yeah. Go to saturation, and then this stuff is like right there. Whoops. I don't like the red over here though, so. Also, I kind of want that red to be better. A little bit more vibrant. Maybe that's a color correction. Yeah, I'll probably do that in color correction. Whoops, that is the wrong roto. Welcome from Switzerland. Thanks for purchasing the course. Hope it all works out. That's way too red too. What the heck? Fortunately, Nuke is not in the course yet. That might be coming in a later date. Okay, so what I want to try to do, is if I go to the original footage, I notice like everything back here has like a blue haze to it. So I kind of want to add that, but again, only to the background just because atmosphere, all that jazz. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. Let's see if we can get a somewhat decent result out of that. Delete this. Okay, and then this one. This one has the alpha, right? I think I need to grade. Need to shuffle their. I'll just do the red into the alpha maybe, so I can use the alpha channel. Okay, so in the alpha channel, we need to. I am viewing this, right? There we go. Just super tiny. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to. There we go. So I just want the background like that. I don't understand why it's doing this. Maybe there's a way to fix that, the banding or whatever that's called. But what I'm probably just going to do is do a slight blur, which is definitely not what you should do. And that's probably not what I'm even going to do because it's bleeding in the edges. Okay, so with our depth mask now, we can cue. Let's try the gamma to like bump it to like a more blue color. We also need to increase the value, something like that. And then the saturation we'll do down. Something like that. Let's on and off that real quick. Yeah, so as you can see, it's doing that. The blacks are way too black. So we're gonna decrease or increase, sorry. Oops, not the gain. We want the lift. Something like that. And I'll also tint this one blue. Okay, that looks pretty good. I just mix this down a little bit so it's not super harsh. There we go. So our foreground stuff doesn't have it, but the background stuff does. And do I attempt to do some light wrap? Let's try it. I don't know about this. Oh, we still have some of the trees coming up. I didn't even think about that. We'll have to get rid of that. I might honestly just do a sky replacement. Why not? Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I'll leave it out. Let's do a sky replacement. And I think I actually have a cloud thing somewhere. Let's see. I think it was for this Moroccan oil freelance gig I did. Where would that be? Assets, images, extended. There we go. Yeah, question mark, maybe. Might have to stretch it a little bit. Or let's do a reformat node. Or actually, we can reuse this, right? I do want to crush this though. Something like that. Not too bad. Let's color correct it. Why did that, why was that weird? Why is that cutting off like that? That's weird. Huh. So here, let's do a color correct actually. Let's boost down the saturation a little. And also, let's do a temporary. This is what I like to do. I like to transform it over a little bit to color match it. And what we're going to do, let's see. Let's do grade maybe. Go to gamma. Basically, I'm just correcting all the channels to be somewhat close. I don't need these to match exactly because it's literally replacing the whole thing. But I think the color was fine. Yeah, so that's better. Why are we getting that line though? because I did that. I did it on the wrong transform. Classic. Okay, so now that we have that looking like that, what I can do is I want to lift the gain. Decrease the lift. Do something like that. That's already looking better, I think. Oh, and let's crop it. I think it looks pretty good. I don't love how that's looking though. You know what I might do? I might re-render this because I didn't put any depth of field in CG. Let's see. I don't know. That's pretty decent though. Can you use the normalized node in Compositor in Blender? What does the normalized node do? I don't even know what the normalized. What does this do? What does the normalized node do? Do you know? I mean, oh, in depth? Interesting. What does that do? I've never heard of the normalized node. I mean, it gives you a better matte. Interesting. I might have to check that out. Does it lead to jagged edges like that, though? It's probably already in there. Huh. Well, you're teaching me stuff. That's sick. I don't think I need that. Let's see. Let's do a quick like kind of color grade. Not that I'm gonna render it out with any color changes here, but this is kind of just what I like to do to like see if everything's like sitting okay in the shot. Like right here, I can tell you that that is still a little bit too saturated for my liking. So we'll just do it like that. And I also don't love, make this a little bit more blue. Like that, maybe. I feel like that's better. Again, I'm crushing the saturation down here, so let's turn that down. Yeah, so let's not go as crazy this time, and that'll be fine. I still want those clouds to pop more. See if we can make those pop anymore. This might be where I have to go inside of here and do the gamma, the gain of the gain, that up. There we go. So that's changing the cloud a little bit, just adding a little bit more pop back there. Also might be a good time to track the scene. And honestly, what I might do is just do a planar tracker. I think that might be better for this scene. Because we have all this texture I'll do over here. There we go. I think that'll work pretty nice. What am I looking for? Tracking, adjust for luminous changes. I think that's it. I haven't used this node in a long time, so I might be doing this wrong. Honestly, I need to get Mocha Pro. From what I hear, Mocha Pro is killer at this stuff. Just let that track. Almost done, guys. We're in the home stretch now. Tracking taking longer than I expected. I could have just tracked it the normal way, but I figured since this is so subtle of a camera movement, it might honestly just be better to do it with a planar track versus a tracker node. And so then what I can do is if I go to frame 1, we'll export out a tracker. I don't want it linked. Now we have that. And now I have 4 things where I can tell the rotation, scale, and position. And then we'll create a transform match move baked. And in theory, it's set on frame 1, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, reference frame 1. That's very important. If you remember all the way back to friggin' F-Spy, we were working from the first frame, so that's very important. Because now we can just place this. Do I want to do it before the defocus or after the defocus? Doesn't matter. I'm going to do it. It's going to motion blur it. Yeah. I think that's the correct place to put it. Now let's see. It should, in theory, track with our footage. Sweet. And now we have to do the same thing to the roto node as well. And did we do that one on the first frame? Yeah, we did. And then also the sky. We'll get, or I forget, where should I place this inside of here? After the color correction, maybe? Yeah, just a subtle camera movement. It's not a lot, but as you can see, it sticks pretty well. Perfect. Now to do some grain. Okay, so the grain workflow I use, we'll bring this out here. I use a industry standard approach of using this reduced noise by Neat Video, and that way we can denoise our footage because we need a denoise pass and a noise pass. Basically what's going to happen is they're going to use both of those passes and try to tell the different grains between each. This is the problem with footage online. It's super like artifacty and like low bit rate. This is why I need a better camera, guys. See if we can get some detail out of like, let's do small. See what happens if we do this wall. You're not supposed to do any area that has a lot of like detail into it. Okay, we're gonna try that. Let's see. Okay, so I guess it reduces some of the noise. Yeah, so you can see it's a super good program for denoising stuff. I mean, like, that's perfect. And I mean, this footage was super like, had a lot of like weird compression artifacts instead of like digital noise, right? Like, it's not going to be the best, but it'll get us somewhere. Let's write this out. Come here to renders, denoised, and we're going to do stream 3 denoise dot exr. Sweet. And then we did render this as linear? Yeah, we did. DW8A. Sweet. The reason we have to render this out, I've had so many problems with my grain workflow. For some reason, if you just link up the node that I'm going to use in a little bit just to the reduced noise, it like glitches out. I don't understand why. Maybe I have like a previous version of that. But yeah, that's the main reason we render it out. Also, it's a very intensive node, so you kind of want to render this out beforehand, just for the just so it doesn't slow down your render, your composite. Okay, let's get in here and just make sure all of that is looking good. Sweet. Okay, so now that we have a denoise thing, what we want to do actually, let me enable the other plugin we're going to use. So what we're going to do basically is, this is our denoise stuff. And so what I want to do, let's go ahead and bring this guy up here. We can go ahead and delete the original plate. We don't need that anymore. I want to get this denoise and use it for the composite. The idea that we're basically doing is that everything in this section is going to be denoised. So literally our entire composite is going to be denoised, again, because we're denoising inside of Blender. So we're basically denoised on top of the denoise, and at the very end is where we're adding in our kind of grain and noise. So yeah, here's our original EXR sequence. We'll bring that down here. And then the thing we're going to be using today is called DAZ Grain. It's a plugin, or gizmo as we call it inside Nuke. And basically all we need is we need the original plate. So this is the original plate. And then we need the D-grain plate. So that is the one we're actually using for the comp. We'll plug that up here. And depending on kind of how you denoise, there are kind of many different methods of denoising. You could also plug in a mask of your CG, but again, since we're using the denoise in our whole composite, we don't want to mask. We want everything to be kind of re-noised, if that makes sense. So plug all that stuff in and analyze. We just analyze that. It'll kind of go through the D-grain plate and compare it to the normal plate, and hopefully bring out the noise in there. So we have that now, and we can see the before and after. So yeah, so here's before, right? So it has all that lovely denoised everything, and then we just add the noise back in. And so now you can see there's noise. I think it does a little bit of the artifacts to try to get that in, but it's actually moving noise. And so if I kind of play this, you can see that we're actually having some good noise artifacts in there. Now, some of this stuff actually might be due to the tree. I gotta make sure that's not just the tree data, which it actually might be. So like that right there, that's the tree. So we want to make sure like certain patches and stuff, if there's like some unique patterns, there'll actually be some like tree. Yeah, so you can see like our grain is actually being pulled from the tree right now. And so that's not what we want. What we're going to do instead, we're going to come to replace, activate. And once we activate scatter, we need to place it in an area of the clip that doesn't have noise. So that's going to be our sky up here. We'll place it like right there, I guess. And so now, in theory, we should have the exact same noise pattern, but it shouldn't pick up the tree. Yeah, so we can still see we have some of those artifacts, which for our sake is better because we're trying to retain some of that kind of compression artifacty thing. In my opinion, that's kind of what makes CG realistic sometimes, is having that pattern. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and render this out. I'm gonna do, let's do ProRes. I don't feel like doing EXR inside of DaVinci. Now I will say we're about to render this out, and I'm about to do a color workflow. My color skills inside of DaVinci are non-existent, and so my goal is to not break things. Okay, so we'll do MOV file, ProRes, 25 FPS. Who shoots in 25 FPS? We're going to do ProRes Quad 4. Then we need Rec 709 aces. Then we're going to, I think that's it. I think we can go ahead and render now. 1 to 200. There you go. So I think that's the shot. This might be the first shot I've done fully on stream with you guys, because usually I have to like render out a whole frame range out of Blender, and that takes forever. We're still not out of the woodworks yet. And honestly, can I make those clouds better, do you think? What if I mirrored it? Because I feel like a lot of our clouds are being blocked by this thing. Let's just let this render and I might play around with it a little bit. Let's see. Because I think we can get some better looking sky. I feel like whenever I render this stuff, I always like find something I can do better in this view when I can't do anything. Okay. Yeah, so let's try to make it better. So I'll copy this out here in case we need to revert. So what if how far can I bring this up? Not that far. So what I'll do is I'll mirror it, I think it's called. What do you guys think? That might be better. Oh. What do you think? Should we leave it as we had it? So this is what we had it as, or should we flip it like that? Because I could go either way. Better? I wonder... this is going to be very experimental for me right now. I wonder if I can literally... Let's take this out. And we're going to do a keyer. Whoops. Keyer. And so I want to just select the clouds basically. Something like that, maybe. We're going to pre-molt it and merge it into our stream like that. Okay, so far we haven't done anything. But if I transform this now, we can add some more clouds over here. Look at that. Man, I'm so brilliant. And we don't want to duplicate clouds. We have any kind of cool looking clouds? Use some of these maybe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't tell any duplication, honestly. I think that's better. And honestly, should I do it one more time? Because I think we're missing some clouds kind of over here. Let's just have some fun. Yeah, just something like off kind of frame up here. Kind of has that little error right there. Wonder if I can just remove that real quick. Let me see. Just gonna combine the alpha layers with a stencil. And then copy that into our stream. Don't worry if this is super confusing for you non-Nuke people. This is why Nuke is the best program ever. Okay, did that get rid of it? I'm trying to remember where that was. There we go. Look at that, perfect. Let's move it a little bit extra. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. Is that too much though, do you think? What if I mirror it? Just this one. I think I like that better actually, because it kind of blends in with this one a little bit more. Beautiful. Look at that. Some extra cloud coverage. I also like this cloud because it kind of leads your eye into this thing. Sweet, let's write this out. This is a very weird scene because you got like a very brutalist kind of like master building here. You got a random freaking like plane crash, and like maybe this is the outskirts. I wish honestly in the scene there was some more graffiti. I mean, I totally could add that in theory, but I'm kind of done with this shot. Also, I'm thinking about cropping it in a little bit. To do like maybe a 2:3:9 aspect ratio, because I feel like we're going for very cinematic right now, and so why not? Go and exit out of Blender if it'll let me. Okay, let's do some DaVinci. Again, I'm going to preface this a lot in this section. I am not a colorist, so please don't flip out. Because I guarantee I'm not doing everything right. Why did I make a folder for comp? What's a stupid aspect ratio that I've never heard of? 27. Where'd that go? 2732 by 1440. Am I crazy in like saying that's a weird kind of thing? Because I've never heard of it. What am I doing? 1440. Oh, 32. I knew that didn't sound right. Like I don't know. I've heard of 1440p, but that's not the correct. Is it? I don't think so. Here, I'll tell us here. Oh, I didn't have 1440p. That might only be a gamer setting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I thought. 20 so just open guy says 2560. That's what I thought. Like, it's very weird. Do you think they literally did that because they wanted to post it online for free but wanted to not make it like standard? Because I could totally see them doing that. Like, oh, we're gonna post this, but let's reformat it to a weird aspect ratio so it's not like they'd have to crop it. I don't know. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to output blank this. So we're going to go to timeline. Where is it? Output blinking. Okay, 239. I think we can do that and then move this down. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna stick cropped, I think. Let's have some fun color grading this, and everybody's gonna be pissed off. Color. Okay, here's my rant about color real quick. Color is the most not pretentious thing, but something that like I feel like everybody has something to say about it, even if it's like good, quote unquote good. Like nobody's ever gonna be happy, because that's a little bit what like visual effects is too. But it's like I could never be a colorist because of all the crap they deal with. Is that blown out? Yeah, that's blown out too much. Let's try 40. Is that too crispy? Like that maybe? Better. I think they shoot like 4K and then crop to make it more cinematic by eye, but I could totally see that, because let's see, what was the normal one? 1440, right? Well, that doesn't make sense, because I would have thought they would have kept the horizontal more if they did it by eye. Because if they did it by eye, then it wouldn't be a perfect 1440. So I have no idea. Okay, I'm gonna add a slight, very, very slight vignette. Maybe. Let's just see. I feel like cinematic shots like this, you don't want to really do a vignette. But I kind of like vignettes. Oh, should invert that. Also, I'm gonna do video clean feed to my actual color accurate monitor. So if you guys see me like staring off into space, it's because I'm looking at my actual monitor that's color calibrated. Okay, everything's looking pretty good so far. I think we're just barely pushing everything. Here, let's do a separate thing for saturation. Let's see these guys. Let's test with making them a little bit more saturated. Something like that. I don't like that, actually. I do want to maybe mess around with the sky. I might actually export a alpha of just the sky. Yeah, I'll probably do that real quick. So what I can do is, let's see. So we got our sky up here. And I want to combine it with our CG. And we're just looking at the alpha channel, and I want to do stencil. Yeah. Video stream. We're gonna go to renders, alpha. I'm gonna go to stream 3 alpha v1.mov. We're gonna do quad 4. This has got to be in Rec 709. And then we're gonna do, why is the alpha? Oh, because I don't have alpha. There we go. Let's render this bad boy out now. This is also something that you might be asked if you're in the client world, is to deliver alphas for color. So this is kind of behind the scenes of like what that process was kind of look like. Hey there, would save the stream for a replay. Of course, of course. The streams get uploaded to YouTube after it kind of does its own thing, and it'll be in its own live stream folder. And so it'll be super sick. So you can watch that afterwards. Notice you have Boris Effects. Are you a representative from them? Am I going to get in trouble? Now I will say I did not use Synthesize for this specific video or this live stream, because we just did 2D cheating for our tracking. So don't yell at me. Let's see, alpha, I'm gonna place that there. And then what do we want? What do we want? There it is. Oh, wait a minute. Is there any way, how do I move it? Because yeah, let's just test this real quick. What is this? I don't think I did anything with that one yet. Because if I do this, right, it's not going to line up. Or is it? Oh, it is going to line up. Because I was going to say we move this in the Y direction. Oh, so it moves everything in the Y. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I thought we were going to run into challenges, but that's all good. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to make this more of a... Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to blow out the sky. More of a pretty blue. There's probably, I think, because I have a few colorist friends, and it seemed like when I was like talking to them, there was like some exact workflow to like get the sky to look better. But that already, I think, looks better to me. I think we're doing a little bit too much, maybe. I'll do it a little bit down. And also, are we clipping on those clouds? It's so hard to tell. Also, why is there like the red? I feel like there's like a red temperature. We'll bump it a little bit to blue. I think that feels better. I think that might be too blue though. Saturate it down. Get this out of here. Did I push it too far? I think I might have pushed it too far. Here, let's just redo it. Okay, yeah, the gain is at... What is going on with the gain? Did I... Here, let's push the gain down. Ever so slightly. I think it was at 15 before, so we'll do like 12. Whoa. Not mean to mess with that. Oh, let's save this. That'd have been funny. Hi there, love your work. I tried rendering the building scene from your tutorial, but the rendering time took a day in Blender. Should I render in Unreal instead? I mean, it's really up to you. Unreal, unfortunately, is not like set up to be a visual effects tool yet. It's great for fully, full 3D scenes, all that stuff like that. But in terms of like this type of work, I would say Blender is probably better suited for it at the moment. I think I've used Unreal before, and for some reason its alpha channel gives me some problems. Unless they fixed it, I would maybe, for these type of shots, steer clear of Unreal. Maybe that's not good advice, but Unreal for other stuff is great. That's what I would tell you. Also, yep, okay. That's funny. Oh, I love messing with my previous sponsors. It's fun. If only it was that easy to transfer your scene to Unreal. Well, yeah, that's the other thing, I guess, is I was assuming you would start all the way from scratch in Unreal, and so that would be kind of tough. Like, I wish it was a one button click over, but I gotta stop going with that one. It's unfortunately not. Whoa, look at this. That's pretty cool. Make it like a pink sky. It's actually not too bad. Can we change it to like an orangey color? I just did a project with Reese's, and I was so tempted because it was like a chocolate volcano thing. If you follow my Instagram, you'll have seen it because I posted about it when it came out. But I was so tempted when working with them. I wanted so bad to have when the volcano erupted to have like the sky turn orange and all that stuff. I think that would have been super cool, but unfortunately we're under time constraints that didn't allow me to do anything like that. What do you guys think? Do you like that sky change? I feel like it's too dark. Also, when you're color correcting, you definitely want to like go outside and recharge your eyes, because when you stare at it for too long, stuff starts to become not clear, if that makes sense. So, pro tip. Okay. Is that vignette on, by the way? It is. It's doing a little bit. Let's see, what else? Give me ideas, guys. Yeah, no, I agree with I'm not gonna say you're in a Swift. Unreal for full CG, definitely. Like, literally one of my favorite shots I've ever done was in Unreal, but that was because it was built from the ground up for Unreal, and it was used for its strengths, which was full CG environments. And VFX for a Blender, yeah. Wait, you've been exploding in growth this year. I'm so proud of you. I appreciate it. I am proud of you, actually. You have inspired me. All right, what else color-wise for this shot? I can try with a few masks. I just don't know direction-wise, like how I want to take this shot. Like, honestly, I know I said this part, this third, I kind of want people's eyes to draw to. I don't think that works, personally. Like, this is just kind of like dead space almost, just because this building is so big. And I mean, their eyes are going to be trained down there anyway, so. Yeah, let's see. Before, after. I mean, if this doesn't show you why you need either A, to start coloring your own visual effects, or B, hire a colorist. I don't know what could. Gosh. Let me know one, because I have many colorist friends. How fun would it be to get them on stream? I don't know. Also, if you guys hadn't joined my other streams, I am debating right now on making a podcast. And inviting some of the industry people I know. And so, like, I could have colorists on there. I could have first ADs. I know a couple first ADs, like indie directors, producers, all that stuff or whatever. Let me know if you want would be interested in like a podcast like that. I think that'd be pretty cool to kind of like talk about it. Maybe we do it from like a visual effects perspective, obviously, of like, hey, what do you deal with? Like, you know, story time, all that stuff. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. I kind of want these graffiti things to pop a little more. I wonder if I can wonder if I can make just that area a little bit sharper. What is this? Popping that stuff. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'll grab some of this area, then we'll track it. Oh, that's the other thing. This tracking thing, whatever they use for that, is amazing. Like, I wish Nuke had something like that was one click and that fast. Like, did you guys see how fast that was? That was insane. That's a one thing Nuke I think struggles with to this day. Is just all of that. Okay, let's feather this mask some. I just want these kind of graphics to pop a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. It might be hard also for you guys to kind of see this just because it's probably like dealing with like stream bitrate and compression and stuff. I didn't even think about that, but whoopsies. There's nothing I can do there. Sky is too dark. Is it still too dark, do you think? It needs to be brighter. Because I actually darkened it on my thing. Maybe I can boost the contrast. I just don't want to clip on the... It's kind of like... I like that. I don't know. This is my thing about color. I could go back and forth literally all the time. We try to play around with like some like overall color grading. So like add another node here. Maybe like in the lift, we do like a blue hue and then gain like that. Ah, that's too much. That was very rudimentary, but definitely not. I'm trying to get it orange, not like purple. It's like either green or like red and purple. Okay, now it's like blue overall. Let's see if we can pop some of the... Ooh, what about yellow? No, yellow makes it green. I guess blue and yellow do make green. Is that right? Ah, shoot. Now whenever I turn it off, it's like reading green. This is like what I'm talking about. Like, this is why you got to go outside, refresh your eyes, maybe stare directly at the sun. Just kidding. Don't do that. But like when I have this off, it's reading green and now it's reading like matched. I think we're doing a little bit too much. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. I kind of like that though. What do you guys think of just doing that final kind of like... I think we did a little bit too much blue in the lift. Yeah, it's like a barely noticeable thing, but I kind of dig it. Yeah, I don't know, guys. That's pretty cool. Definitely do the podcast, VFX, cinematographer. Oh, that, yeah. And the Swift is fine. The Swift. What are we talking about? Swift. I can't remember. I've been learning Houdini the last few days. Houdini is one of those programs that, like, if you learn it, kudos to you because it's freaking crazy. Amazing program, though. Yeah, dark and too blue. Too blue. Too blue, they say. Ooh, I kind of like that. I shifted it a little bit away from green. I kind of like that more. Oh, keep in mind also, like what you're seeing up here is like not what I'm technically seeing, because I have like a, you know, calibrated monitor in front of me. And when I say calibrated, it's not like professionally calibrated, but it's like better. So it might look a little bit weird to you, but to me, yeah, because like up here, it's like reading weird. And then down here, it's reading not weird. Great things, Jacob. That's kind of what I'm trying to do, is trying to have like some decent contrast between the buildings. Interesting. It was that blue before. What do you guys like? Do you like it? So this is off, or do you like it on? I'll just switch through those a couple times. You guys let me know, because like, again, I'm terrible with color, so I have zero idea. Personally, I kind of like it on, but maybe that's wrong. See, Abstract CGI, thanks for the donation. Thank you so much for the super. I really appreciate it. Eventually, if I start doing this more, I gotta definitely find out like a better way to like show like any messages like people donate on the screen and stuff like that, or like have like interactions and stuff. That'd be cool. You see, you're screen blind right now. You got to come back after 50. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I knew doing this on stream was not gonna be the way to go. But here, I have like a light over here. I'll just stare directly into the light and like recalibrate my eyes. Make it closer to white if you can. Okay, that's better. You know, you can actually import the full 3D EXR pass-through Fusion and give each one a different output to use in the color section. Oh, interesting. But I don't want to use Fusion though. Would Fusion just be the way to import it in and then you would do everything in color? Question mark. The too blue looks too HDR and feels CG. The wider looks makes it feel more interesting. Sweet. So good. We are working. More air perspective. Exactly. You can do everything in the color section. Okay. Yeah, I might experiment with that later. Again, usually when I'm working, like say if a client approaches me or something like that, usually what I'll do is I'll take over CG and sometimes compositing. Sometimes depending on the project, I actually might hire a compositor separately, because then usually I have like a certain standard for my CG when it comes to client work. And I find it's hard to meet that standard. Like I haven't found anybody that I feel totally comfortable with. So I might have to continue searching, but I have a compositor I work with, and so I sometimes hire them. And then whenever I'm doing the client stuff, I never touch color when dealing with client stuff. Actually, that's a lie. Sometimes if it's like a Instagram ad or something like that, what I find is the clients I work with, right, they don't come from like a visual effects perspective. They always come from like a business perspective or like a marketing perspective or something like that. And usually the marketing perspective, this is specifically to deal with like social media advertising and stuff like that. They don't care about like what looks realistic and like natural and stuff like that. I find all the time they want like super harsh grades. So they want it super poppy, and then they want it super high contrast and super sharp, you know? And so like you can even see this is going to be mostly for Instagram. And so you can even see the mid detail might be a little bit too high compared to what some people like. But for Instagram, I just think it adds a little bit more to it. Actually, 11.5 is not too bad. I've had projects where literally they were like continuously asking for extra sharpness. And so I had to push it like one of my colorist friends said not to push it past 40 is kind of the rule of thumb, the mid detail. And so they were like, oh man, they wanted to push it and push it. And I was like, guys, like we are like destroying the color in this. And they're like, we don't care. It looks good on Instagram. I'm like, okay, it's whatever client wants. Okay, I think that's a fat good enough, guys. I don't know about you. All the workflow you can do in Fusion and output the linear full data output to the color page and keep working. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. Is that the industry standard way, or is that just kind of like a, not a cheaty, hacky way, but like, yeah, I've never heard of any colorist asking for kind of that workflow. I guess that's more if you're doing it yourself and kind of want the full like undestructive workflow. But typically, what I did is what kind of colorists want. They want ProRes 4, Quad 4. Most people work in Rec 709. I've had a few odd clients that want sRGB. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And then a few guys wanted aces. Honestly, I don't work in aces too much. Okay, let's make sure we're not like getting into any noise or anything like that. Yeah. If I was doing this, like if I wanted to spend so much longer making this realistic, which I might do off stream, honestly. Like if we're already at this point of the shot, like I might add some like moving stuff in the background, right? Like birds flying, maybe the clouds are moving a little bit, making some like subtle, very subtle atmosphere. Or honestly, what I could do, I'm not going to in this stream, but what I could end up doing, this is kind of just reference of like kind of how I think through things, is like after I have the color where I want it, I would probably throw this back in. I'd probably undo the DAS grain stuff that we did and probably add in, because I worked on a short film that was shot, I forget exactly what camera they used, but it was a film camera and it actually had like really good noise to it. Or sorry, in that case it'd be grain. But the grain pattern of that one, I could rip off of that and then use it to paste onto this shot. And that grain was actually pretty tastefully done. And so that's what I could do theoretically. Again, you want to, this is like the issue of like Instagram visual effects content, is like sometimes you don't want to do that because like Instagram already compresses it so much. And also like, it'll just look like an error, specifically on Instagram. Like if you're watching it on a huge theater screen or like for films and stuff like that, of course that's what you want to do to match it. But I've had times where like there's like a blip in the grain and somebody like called it out of being like a an artifact, but I'm like, no guys, like that was part of the footage, and it could have been an artifact from the footage, I guess. But hello, K Rant, is that how you say it? I probably butchered that so bad, I apologize. For small work, for 3D and compositing is quicker just because no round trip, and you can go back and work in AXR passes directly and use all the tools in the color page for compositing, color correction, illuminate. Okay, I guess that makes sense. If you add some trash flying stock footage, if you get any, the subtle stuff is key to, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Like, you know, that'd be so cool to have like some like trash flying down here. I used to have, I'd have to like dig through all my asset packs. I used to have like some like bugs flying. So just adding like some like bugs up here, you know, maybe like a few smokestacks in the background, all that type of stuff, you know. That would be me spending a lot of time just adding those assets and color correcting it. So I honestly, depending on, I don't have a plan to when to release this shot, but I might eventually add some of that stuff in. I don't know, guys. I kind of think that's it. Let's turn this off. I make this full screen. Yeah. I don't know. That seems pretty good. Now, if I was really nitpicking and stuff, I don't love, like, to me, everything levels wise, color wise, everything matches from a visual perspective, like lighting and all that. They just look a little bit too disjointed to me still. And I think that's because the level of detail up here is so high versus like this is just a blank wall. And so what I could do, I mean, the shot was also like unrealistic looking to begin with. It was a little CGI looking. If I go back to it real quick, you know, like it's just such an odd angle that, like, as you see the wall up here, we know it's a 3D wall, but it looks like a 2D cutout. And so even this looks a little fake. You know what I'm kind of saying, guys? And like, I don't know if there'd be any way for me to like fix that. Really like your visual effects videos. I made my own version of spaceship video in Blender after watching your video. Sick. Which spaceship video are you talking about? I feel like I have like so many different spaceship ones. Are you talking about the Mandalorian one that kind of like takes off the ground, or the one where it's like kind of hovering above a city? I think was the other one. Okay, let's render this bad boy out. I'm just going to do H.264. I wish you didn't have to compress it so much. I wish you could get all that sexy data on Instagram. Shoot, where am I going? Stream 3 color. What is this? V1. That weird freaking aspect ratio. And voila, we have art. We did it. And it doesn't look horrible. It looks a little disjointed. And if I don't know, you can make the argument of like, this is a lively kind of like dystopian city, and like we're in the outskirts right now, you know, with the plane crash, and it's somewhat separated. I think the scale is also a little off just because it's such a what would it be? It's such a long lens, I think, right? Because like the depth is so crushed. It's not a long lens, but like there's no like depth, right? And so that was baked into the shot, and so I feel like we were kind of like tied to that almost. Yes, the Mandalorian one, sick. Yeah, no, that one was a super fun one. That one was actually fun because that was one of like the original shots I had done when learning visual effects. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. I did a version of that, and then so for that course and everything, I actually decided to remake that shot with my current like skill set, and it was so much better. Oh my gosh, it just, if that didn't show you progress, I don't know what will. May also be general composition, as the wall and CG world meet is in the middle of the screen, so it gives us, yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree there. What I could do in theory to kind of blend the two together is add some CG to this bottom section, right? And so I already had the CGI wall modeled. And so what I would basically do there is just add like some like vines, you know, maybe add some like debris down here or stuff like that. And I think that would marry the two a little bit as well. I don't think it's awful, right? Like it's not like hugely like, yes, it is kind of giving the split screen thing, but if maybe I'm making excuses. It's okay. What I would say, it's better than what I was expecting for this stream, right? Like to be able to get this shot. And how long have we been streaming? Like 3 hours, maybe to be able to get like this level shot in 3 hours isn't bad. Like I'm happy with the result that we got from the stream, but if I was doing this for film and stuff, you know, I'd be spending like a couple days at least on this shot. And so I'm pretty proud of this as it is. The current project you are working on, this giving a Star Wars Rebel City vibe, futuristic, sick. That's totally what I was going for. No, Star Wars is a huge inspiration for me. It's sad that it's not looking, it's looking like Star Wars is in trouble. But you know, I always say when you're learning, why not make something that you're, you know, passionate about? I remember I was playing this one game called Into the Radius. If there are any Into the Radius lovers, that's a weird way to say that. If you like Into the Radius, the game, then I actually, when doing this one project, I was like, why not just do an Into the Radius theme to it? And I literally did, and it was great. I had a lot of fun to it. Let's see if I can find that actually real quick. What would that be? Yeah, where would that be? See if I can find that. Yeah, I have no idea where it is. I'd have to dig for years, and that's not very exciting for you guys. No, defo looks great. Sweet. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you didn't catch the whole stream, the entire, what do you call that? Is it VOD? Is that the correct term for it? The entire recorded live stream will be available whenever YouTube is done uploading that. You can also catch my other live streams, which we did some camera tracking using synthesize. And what did we do? We did kind of a basic shot, and then last stream we actually did like an iPhone, like kind of dolphin diving out of the ground and stuff. So that was fun. That one was a little jank. I will say the iPhone one is not my proudest work, and so this goes back to the quantity over quality sometimes. I didn't want to, it wasn't my, what is the term for it? Coup de grace? Is that it? Am I using that term correctly? It wasn't my best shot ever. So I was like, you know what? We'll get it to an acceptable level and let's move on to the next. And so now we're here. And so I feel like that's a very important takeaway, is like, you know, don't be afraid to fail. And sometimes, you know, especially if you're not like holding this to any client standard or anything like that, I say just like move on, you know. Like honestly, for this shot though, I do think it's a case to where I do want to like spend some extra time, maybe add some more particulate stuff like that in the background, some more moving stuff. I do think this is a case where I definitely can make this better, and so I want to make this better basically. But certain other stuff, you know, like that iPhone shot, I was like, you know what, let's just get that out. If you guys want to see it here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because I'm my own harshest critic sometimes. Yeah, so this shot, yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like if the reflections are fine. The only thing that really kind of peeves me about this shot is the kind of phone coming out of the ground. There's no shadow. And I just, for how the effect needed to be, I just could not figure out a way to get shadow there, because like as you can see, it's very kind of overcast shadow anyway, or not overcast, but very like non-harsh. Also, I didn't bother with the reflections on the top. It was just a very kind of all over the place shot. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got. First time here. Well, I'm sad to say this is the end of the stream, but I plan on streaming some more, so don't worry, you haven't missed out everything. If you want to see, here, let's show the final shot in its glory for all you people to kind of see the fruits of our labor. Gosh, I am definitely screen blind right now, because like I opened this shot up and I was like, what is this shot? This shot's awful. think the brightness of my display is also way terrible. Basically, I have two displays right now. I have one on top and then one on the bottom. The bottom one is a drawing tablet. If you saw my video about my recent setup, the drawing tablet is it's so good for color and stuff like that, versus my top one is literally like a $180 like gaming monitor. Like, I got that thing so long ago, and honestly, I don't do any color stuff on it, and so it's totally fine in my workflow. I just love the high refresh rate, A, for gaming, but B, for just Blender and everything like that. It's so nice to have high refresh rate. I cannot stress enough how much of a just quality of life feature it is. So cool. Well, I'm gonna end the stream here, just because I'm tired, but also this is pretty much it. You know, we went through the entire workflow of everything from, we skipped camera tracking, we did do FSpy setup, we did Blender CGI using Cargo, Kitbash Cargo. We made this whole scene, we lit it somewhat correctly. It looks correct to my eye, you know, it's fine. Then we did super sick compositing, then a somewhat okay job at color correcting. Hopefully those colorists out there that was watching that section, hopefully they didn't burst a blood vessel cringing at all of the probably incorrect color stuff I did. But we were left with this result. I think it's pretty sick. Is this the right result? This is the comp. No wonder why the freaking color looked weird to me. Why didn't you guys tell me that? There we go. Here's the final. I don't know why I was staring at that. Like, gosh, that was bad. I'll admit that was pretty bad. You can tell I'm tired. But here's the actual shot we did. You can see it's a lot better. Sweet. Do we have a Discord? Not yet. Not yet. It's in progress. I swear. Guys, please. I got work I gotta do. I got YouTube stuff I gotta do. It's coming. I swear it's coming. It'll be within the year. I just got to figure out all the plugins and stuff and how to like organize it and all that, you know. I know it's like very non-hard, but I've just never done it. And I got other fish to fry. Sweet. Oh, well, thanks everybody for watching. You can catch me I have some more videos coming up soon. I have an exciting sponsorship opportunity coming up that I am excited to share with you guys. I think you guys would really benefit from it. So that is in the works. And then we got some other videos coming up. I'm trying to figure out a way to do my normal tutorial content, but also do more specialized stuff that is interesting and good to watch, but B, is also educationally important, you know, to actually, you know, nail down concepts, stuff like that. Also some fun like challenges and stuff I have coming up. I want to include the community more in some of my upcoming content, and so stay tuned. I might have like some like community challenges or something coming up. Just trying to engage with you guys more. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video or stream that I see you in. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.